Hello, it is Dana Marie with Dana Doodles 2, or my YouTube channel is Dana Marie. Welcome, I'm glad you're here. Today we're going to flip through the month of May in my number 3 journal, which goes from April to October 31st, 2020. So let's get started. While I flip through, if you haven't done so yet, please remember to subscribe and click the little notification bell so that you can be notified of my next video. I'm trying to work on my subscriptions so more people can see my videos. If you like it, leave a comment. If you don't, leave a nice comment about why you don't like it. And let's get started. All right, so this is May. In this video, in this month, I used a piece of scrapbook paper. I don't remember what pad I got it from, but I really liked all the vibrant color on this. And in May, we were 2 months, I think we'll see how many days as I flip through, about 2 months into our quarantine. And it was definitely getting old by then. And obviously, it's getting old now. But so I put embrace every season of life because this is a season, or so I thought. It's a very long season. I had no idea in May that this season would last this long. When I started the journal, it was in April and we were already in quarantine. So my quarantine started in journal number 2 at the end. So I'll have to flip through that sometime. It's interesting to look back and see what my thoughts were in May because now it's November 12, I believe. I don't know. I work from home and I'm never gone from home, so it's all the same to me. But I think it's November 12 today. So looking back at May as I flip through this, I've already looked through a little bit. It's kind of interesting where you think you were or what you thought was going to happen. Anyway, let's get started and I'll quit babbling. So I love these numbers. Can you hear that? They feel kind of like sandpaper. They're kind of glittery. I don't know if you can see it. Sparkly. I love these letters and I got them in a Happy Mail and I don't know where to get them. I have searched the internet high and low. Sorry if I'm shaking you. To try and find more of them because I love that they're brightly colored and they're a little sparkly, but the glitter doesn't come off and annoy me. Anywho, so this is my May starter page. Sometimes I do this. Sometimes it's one page. Sometimes I forget to do it. It's whatever. All right, so let's get started. This is May 1st. This cute little card. It's kind of textury. It's like soft. It's really weird. I got this from Robin Marie Smith. I took one of her free classes. I don't recall for sure what it was, but she sent me some like craft tape to use to bind an altered book together. I didn't have any and she sent it to me and that was very nice. So I put a note in there. And it says, when the world stayed apart, we came together, 2020. And this is my Corona hit list. This is just one I found, but I actually do have a list, and you'll see it in one of my videos. I didn't make it, but we'll talk about that. I was watching Sherlock that day, didn't do anything exciting. Again, we're like 2 months into, maybe 6 weeks into quarantine. So laundry, shower, vacuum, I worked, watched TV. It amazes me how fast a day can go when you haven't gone anywhere or done much of anything. It was a nice day. Let's see. We had bacon and pancakes, blueberry pancakes, and a homemade caramel macchiato, iced. We watched Parks and Rec, that was a Saturday. And then we went to Cane's for dinner. At this point, we could still drive through restaurants. So we could go and eat in the car, and that's what we did. And then the boys watched Clash of the Titans, and we watched Psych together as a family. I like this one. 2020 came out all looking like a warm chocolate chip cookie. Then one bite, and bam, oatmeal raisin. Oh, I hate that. Don't trick me with raisins. Now that I've lived through the time of the plague, so I thought, I totally understand why Italian Renaissance paintings are of naked fat people laying on the couch. Yep. Because that's what you do with Corona. I gained the, COVID-19. I gained the COVID-19. This was a fun page. This is like paper bag, like from the grocery store. I just crumpled it up and then spread it out. glued it down. This is the little emoticon emoji thing of my son. He is a ginger. So we were out walking along the river in a town nearby, and it's kind of like a little nature walk, not really a hike. And they had all these trees and they were labeled, and this one's a wild ginger, or maybe it's a plant, but the sign says wild ginger. So I made my son, who is a ginger, stand by the sign and pose with it with his wild hair, because at this point he's been out of school. I mean, he's taking e-lessons, but he had been out of school for a couple months. We haven't had haircuts because everything was closed down. And a boy without a haircut for 2 or 3 months is a totally different thing than me without a haircut, because it just looks the same. Anyway, I thought it was funny because it says wild ginger, and there's my ginger with his wild hair. And his shirt, that's another funny thing. I'm saying he looks like a wild ginger, and his shirt says false. So that was kind of funny. And believe me, we could use all the laughs we could get at that point. All right, and this is the 4th of May. We had another homemade caramel macchiato. We have an espresso machine, so we can do that whenever we want. Should we? No, but COVID-19. How do you think I got here? Anyway, I bought a pot for my snake plant and a couple of small plants. Our second to the oldest child got a new job as the general manager of Potbelly, and we were so proud, so I put that in there. That was a long time coming, an uphill battle to get that job, so we are so proud. On this day, it was Cinco de Mayo, and it was Tuesday. It says it's Taco Tuesday and Cinco de Mayo. I have some avocado washi, and this is the receipt. Probably isn't going to look like this in 10 years, but whatever. We went to a Mexican restaurant. You could not eat in, but they had dollar tacos, like the little street tacos. So we went and got in line in the drive-thru, and we were there for an hour. And normally we would be like, oh, I'm not going to wait an hour. This is ridiculous. But honestly, we had nowhere to go and nothing to do. So we figured, why not? So we didn't stand. We sat in the line in our car for an hour. And let's see, we got 22 mini street tacos. I ate 4. My husband and my son ate the rest. So that'll tell you something right there. But that was interesting. And people were getting nasty. I remember some guy was cut in the line because you could approach from 2 different ways to get into the drive-thru line, and one guy cut. And I don't think they meant to. They just weren't paying attention. And there was a long line of cars way down the street, and they came in from the other way, and people were nasty. Anywho, didn't do anything exciting today. Yeah, it's November, and my life is the same. I cleaned a little, watched TV, doodled a little, didn't feel like painting. We got tacos for Cinco de Mayo, came home, watched The Voice, and psych reruns. It was a chilly day. And these are just some memes making fun of the mayor of Chicago. At this point, I lived in Illinois still. Here are my new plants. There's a pot for my plant I already had. No. This is a pot for the plant I already had. I bought this new plant and this little succulent baby. And it says, I don't even remember what I did on this day, which is now yesterday. My head hurt and my neck still does. I placed an order online with Blick for art supplies because Mother's Day is coming up. We had nice cream. I don't know if you've ever had that. We do it every once in a while when we're trying to be healthy. We make ice cream out of frozen bananas and peanut butter, chocolate chips. It's real healthy. Anyway. And here I went to the chiropractor. This is a magazine cutout that I put in. Some free stickers that I had. Binge watch. That's what I've done for 9 months now. Is it really? March to 8 months. Anyway. And I put, Dr. Perry is so wonderful. She was my chiropractor until I moved. She cracks me up. Get it? Excuse me. Drink water. Squeaky water bottle. Okay. So I woke up with a worse headache. I iced my neck, called my chiropractor. I went to the post office and Walgreens, had chicken and sweet potatoes at home, watching Psych. You know what's really funny? Is that last night we had chicken and sweet potatoes and we watched Psych. Good grief. Talk about monotony. May 8th. This says Gina because it's my friend Gina's birthday. So happy birthday, Regina May. I'm filming this in November, but anyway, it was her birthday and she's a sweet friend of mine. So my husband had taken a vacation day, so I talked him into driving out to her house, which was almost an hour away. And again, everything's closed, so you can't do anything, and we can't see each other or, get together. But I got her a gift, which I had already had. I already shopped for it, and I wanted to drop it off on her birthday. So we drove all the way out to her house, about 55 minutes to her house. And my son hopped out of the car and ran the gift up to her porch and then got back in the car. And we drove down the street and turned around, and then I texted her, sorry for shaking you, I need a better table. And I texted her and said, hey, look outside. And there we were, and there was her gift. It was just fun to be able to surprise her, because at this point, we're at day 54. This is day 53, so day 54 of quarantine. And I thought she needed a pick-me-up, and it was fun. And then we went to Blick, and I got some art supplies, curbside, and then we went to Noodles and ate in the car. All right, May 9th. We had waffles and bacon and a caramel macchiato. We had to cut that practice out real quick because we were eating terrible, but comfort food. We got the car washed, and we picked up a pizza later for dinner and played dominoes. And so you see, this is a magazine cutout for pizza. This is my favorite pizza. I like Dr. Pepper. Here's my waffles for breakfast. This is the car wash. And I put a picture of an iced coffee. This was back when I used to get stacks, like 30 magazines in a stack from a friend whose husband was a doctor. Now I don't really get that many, so I don't have as much. Oh, and indulge, which we did. Pizza, waffles, coffee. I think we had ice cream even. Or maybe that was the next day. Sunday, May 10th. It is Mother's Day. This is my art supplies that I got to pick out for Mother's Day. It was rainy. I did laundry. That's what one of my kids calls me Mama Bear. Let's see, it was a rainy day. We went to Culver's for ice cream. Chocolate salted caramel concrete mixer. This is a stamp that I have. And I like how I colored. I used a stencil. It's in my other journal now. In this journal, I mostly use that stencil every day. It was before I found Life's lovely printables. All right, this cloud picture, this picture, and this one are all from a little book called something Tiny Pleasures. It was like $4, and it's like a chunky book. It's about that big, square, and then that wide if you look at the spine. And it just has a bunch of silly pictures, so I cut those out. It says I spent some time on Facebook Marketplace selling some things because it's May, but we were getting ready to move. This is a bleeding heart that I have in my yard, one of my favorite plants. I dug that up and brought it with me, so I'm hoping next May it's going to look like this. I picked up some Project Life cards, which you'll see later in my journal. I have a ton of them. If anyone wants to trade Happy Mail, I have like 600 and Project Life cards, and they repeat, so I don't need 10 of the same ones. I'd be happy to share some Happy Mail. I love Happy Mail. Could really use it. Pick me up in my mailbox once in a while. Wednesday the 13th. I didn't realize how funny I was until I started talking to myself. Maybe she's losing it. Maybe it's quarantine. And this one's cute too. The face you make when you realize your shortness of breath isn't from the Rona. It's because you climbed the stairs and are a fatty fat after all the quarantine snacky snacks. Ain't that the truth? This is a notice that we got in our email that a concert that we were going to was canceled. We had planned on this summer of 2020, we had 3 concerts planned, a musical and a Shakespeare play that we had bought tickets for. So we weren't going on vacation, but we had 5 big events coming up in July and August. And of course, all of that did get canceled. So that was a bummer. On this day, I put private here because it's not a big deal anymore, but we had been looking at houses and nobody knew yet. So we were scheduled to look at houses, but one canceled. The one we saw first, we fell in love with. It had everything, 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, everything we wanted. A huge 9-foot island with a white marble countertops. It was beautiful. And we ended up making an offer of over $9,000 more than the asking price. And guess what? We still did not get it. But that's okay. It all turns out in the end, as you'll see, within just a month. So that day we looked at those houses and we went to the Shoop's Hamburgers. If you don't have a Shoop's near you, they're really good. They're like real flat and they're kind of crispy on the edges. Really greasy, terrible for you, so obviously delicious. It rained. I love this little corgi, so I drew him an umbrella, and I never colored in his... See, when you go flipping back, you see that you don't color in things. I am so sorry if it's shaking. And I need to re-outline some stuff. It kind of got sloppy when I colored it in with Posca pen. Now I made it worse. Cool. Anywho, here and here, you'll see little emoticons. I learned, because I didn't have anything to do, I learned how to make my little emoticons, and then I learned how to copy and paste them into a Word document and print them, and I made like washi tape out of it. So that is that. And when we had a tornado siren that woke us up at midnight because there was a bad storm. The 15th, I cleaned out the linen closet and the coat closet and boxed stuff up under the sink, just starting to get organized. We're at day 61 of quarantine. We're looking at houses, so we know we're going to move. We just don't know when. This is funny. What the things around us are thinking. Your dishwasher. You're running me again? You just ran me. Your phone. You saw the screen time report. Maybe put me down and pick up a book. The washer and dryer. Is it just me, or is 80% of their laundry just pajamas now? Oh, at least. The refrigerator. Every 10 minutes, you people are opening my door. Every 10 minutes. That is so true. Hello? Here's the shower, like, why are you not using me? And did I do something to offend someone? And that's the car. This is still true in November for us. But at this point, we could go out to eat. We just had to take out and eat in the car or in the street. And in the summer, that was great. I don't know what we're going to do in the fall. Let's see. We lazed around, went to lunch, went to a record store. And he got 2 albums, Black Keys and Counting Crows. And we had lunch at this grilled cheese place, and we each had a different one. My husband had buffalo chicken grilled cheese. My son had bacon on it. I don't know what I had. Let's see. I slept until 9:30. This was a Saturday. I never sleep in. I'm usually up by 6, out of bed by 7. But I slept till 9:30, so that was nice. Rare. This page I had already doodled ahead of time because I was doing some doodling, and so I just plopped stuff on top of it. We watched church online because we can't go in person, watched TV, played Phase 10, Micah won. You'll see months coming that every time we play Phase 10, my son wins. Watched Psych, which we are doing again. Oh boy. Oh, donut even. And these are just a bunch of memes, and this is a congratulations to Aurora Christian High School National Art Honor Society. My son was on that. He got in that. This was private, now it's not because it's old news. We looked at houses again this day. 3 houses, and again we liked one, and we made an offer right then and there in the driveway before we left, because every house that we liked was either gone before we could even drive the 2 hours to go see it, or you could offer $1 million more. They're not going to take it. So we made an offer, but it says I'm not getting excited yet. Seeking God's will and favor during this search for a new home. I don't like being in limbo. Here's our notice that the Black Keys concert that we had planned for the summer was canceled. And says everything for summer is canceled. We may as well just put up the Christmas tree and call it a year. And I liked this one, this donut. It says, "Donut, stop believing." Oh, and here's another one. Dear Evan Hansen, that was the musical we were going to, canceled. So at this point, everything is just falling apart, all of our plans for the summer. It's kind of a bummer, but we're trying to stay positive. And this is, I think this is a Tim Holtz thing. I can't remember for sure. And I just used it to flip, and here's our final, I think it's our final cancellation. We have Black Keys, Dear Evan Hansen, Foreigner. And oh no, there's one more. And the bummer about this one is Foreigner is an old group. They've been around forever. Who knows how many years they'll continue to, tour. So we may never see them again. That was kind of a bummer. Anyway, and then it says here we got the house, which really just means they accepted our offer. We still didn't know at this point that we were getting it. I still didn't believe we would get approved for it, but all right, Thursday the 21st. Here I'm starting to clean the house that I live in because I will not leave a house a mess for the next person to move into. And I knew we were leaving, so I pulled out the fridge and the washer and dryer to clean behind those. Watched some TV. My pain level was very high that evening because of all the work I did. My husband made street tacos, yummy, yummy. My husband went to the house that we live in now to give him the earnest money because it's a 2.5 hour drive, but they wouldn't take an electronic check or payment. We had to bring a physical check down there. I packed some boxes and we went to a movie night outdoors, got some food. The weather was perfect. We got Portillo's shakes on the way home. This is my quarantine playlist, which I say mine, but it's not really. It's one that I get to listen to that other people made up. And I did put parts of this in the quarantine journal that Loveland's Life did. Oops, paper stuck to it. It's in here because I didn't have time to submit a page because we were moving and everything was packed. So I gave her that for the quarantine journal. This is a bigger list because I couldn't include it all. And that's it. We are on April 23rd. Nope, May. Let's see. It was nice out. I pulled weeds all over the yard. I dismantled our garden because every year we used to put a garden in, and this year we were moving, but we didn't know when. This is May 23rd, so we don't even know we got the house for sure yet. They accepted the offer. It hasn't been approved, but we know at some point we're going, so we might as well dismantle the garden because it was pointless to plant it because then it would just be there for somebody else that we left. So I pulled up, we had like brick pavers and then chicken wire around it because we had a rabbit, I don't know, it was like a rabbit compound or commune in our yard there in Illinois. So many rabbits in that yard and they ate everything. So we had chicken wire. I pulled all that down and put it away. And we watched The Voice and Psych in the evening. There were thunderstorms on and off, crazy weather. It's 2020, what do you expect? The 24th, let's see. I read that by law you have to turn on your headlights when it's raining in Sweden. How am I supposed to know if it's raining in Sweden? Ha ha ha. I think I'm so funny. This is a Sunday. We watched church online because you can't go in person. Went to Lowe's and Target and then home. We watched Psych and The Voice. That's about it. My son played video games and I painted. That's when my paint room is downstairs still. So I guess that's nothing new, just a different house. Oh, and then my husband went to tell our friends that we were leaving. That was a tough thing. So this day we cleaned the basement, went through all of our junk, made a huge Goodwill pile, but we couldn't donate it because they were not open yet. We ordered pizza, watched TV as usual, blah, blah, yada, yada. And then I put Uncle. This is from my Altoids I finished up, and I just thought Uncle fit the mood, so I put it there. And then this is the card from the pizza place, which we had back in... I know we had it back in April, and they give you these cards to save. So I put them in my journal just in case the house fell through and we didn't actually move yet. But, at least then I knew where they were, but I figured we'd be gone. This is a receipt for some plants I bought. I started with one plant before quarantine, and now I have it's November, but now I have 32. But at this point, it was number 2 and number 3, I think. I don't know. And here they are. And it says, tomorrow is National Treat Yourself Buy a New Plant Day. It's nothing official. I made it up. Tell the others. Let's see. And this is still true. Honestly, it could be Friday, it could be Tuesday, it could be June. Who knows? Not me. My little emoticon. And then since we put an offer on the house and told people we were moving, then the people who owned the house we lived in, because we did not own it, decided to put it up for sale right away. So they came over with a realtor that next day and got the ball rolling, and it all really worked out pretty awesomely. So this day, okay, I had to have the house we lived in ready by Friday. This is Wednesday. I had to have the house we lived in ready Friday to be pictured? Yes, photographed for them to sell the house we lived in. But in this day, we had to head down to the new house because we were having the inspection. And here we had paid a huge chunk of money to have the house inspected, complete with scanning the walls for rodents or mold or anything. And I'm still put dream because I still didn't think it was going to happen. And now I'm really stressed because we just forked out a bunch of money and I really didn't think it was going to go through. But it did. So anyway, we went down there we were allowed to stay there for a couple hours while they did the inspection, and we measured and got ideas where we were going to put our furniture. Yada yada. The 28th, spent the day cleaning and decluttering the main level of the house we were living in. It's a challenge to put everything away. The office is still a mess. We'll have to work on it tomorrow. They came over, the people that own the house, to paint the fireplace and fix a light in the pantry and do some work. And my son was working on his finals, and we had to drop off his textbooks the next day. He was doing e-learning because even though he went to a private school, they did close in March. So he had been doing e-learning, and now school was over because it's May 28th. He did his finals and school's over. The photographer came out to take pictures of the house we were living in, and we left to go drop off my son's textbooks, which was chaotic, and then went to the chiropractor and got some lunch. And it says, today some stores will open. Now, I don't remember what day we're on here. I just quit keeping track of it every single day because it got depressing, honestly. Day 61 on the 15th, so 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73. So day 74. Today some stores will open and restaurants with outdoor seating. Hair salons can open. That was a big deal, let me tell you. And so on, with restrictions. Gatherings of 10 allowed. This is a picture that my son took with his Polaroid on our porch, which I thought was cool, so I put it in here. This is one of the Project Life cards I have. I have many. Again, if you want to trade Happy Mail, I'd be happy to do that. Just message me on this video. All right, so this is May 30th. Just 2 more days, guys. We did some yard work, cleaned the garage. Some of our kids came over and we went to Aurelio's for pizza. That's my favorite. And we ate on the patio at the restaurant. Really nice day. The weather was perfect. We dropped my son off for a bonfire with a few of his friends he hadn't seen for a couple of months, and we were moving, so we wanted to make sure he could see them. So the parents did a bonfire, obviously outdoors, socially distanced. There were riots in cities all over America because of the murder of George Floyd, a black man that was murdered by a cop in Minneapolis, and it says the cop kneeled on his neck until he died. It's kind of heartbreaking, the stuff that's been going on this year, and I forgot to color in my son. Oops. And then SpaceX sent a rocket to the ISS, and the mission was successful. And then I have this little, you want a pizza me? And then the pizza, because we had pizza that night. And the last day of May. My husband preached. He was a pastor, not the senior pastor. We just served. We actually taught the children in charge of youth and children's education. So he went there to preach, and nobody was going to church at the time, just the pastor. So on that day, my husband was the only one there. And we watched from home online, and we watched Space Force. We went to Menards to look at fire tables. We still haven't found one, and it's November, about the time we'd want to use one. We went to Costco and Starbucks. I got a caramel cloud macchiato. Yummy. Another beautiful day, and there were riots because of the George Floyd thing. There were riots in Chicago and Aurora. I, at this time, lived in Illinois, about 45 minutes west of Chicago. Now I live about 45 miles south of Chicago. But I lived closer at that time to Aurora. It was like 20 minutes away. And there was, you'll see that in my June flip, there were some serious riots in Aurora and in Chicago, and buildings were burned and looted, and it was just a mess. Anyway, if you thought the toilet paper frenzy was crazy, just wait until 26 million women try to book a hairdressing appointment. Ain't that the truth? All right, so that, my friends, is the month of May. We made it through a long, chatty flip. I hope you're still with me. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe so you can see the next one. I'm going to be flipping through June, July, August, September, and October in this one. And that ends this journal. Look at this fatty. It's like me. It gained the COVID-19. All right, enough of me. You may go now. Thanks for staying with me. Have a great day. Bye.